So we got some catching up to do, man. I was consistent for a while, and but yeah, that changed. That changed because a lot of things changed for me, and so when a lot of things changed for me, I had to make certain adjustments, you know. And but here we are, you know. Here we are today, and I'm glad to be able to still have the ability to go live. I'm glad that I didn't completely take down the channel and things of that nature because I'm able to tune back in with y'all. So I'm a I'm gonna give it a little second, give people time to get in here while I gather my thoughts and you know, kind of, I guess, get comfortable again with being live. You know what I'm saying? So people don't understand there's an art. There's an art that goes into being live. So I'm working on that, y'all. So just stay tuned, be patient, and I appreciate y'all, man. I see we got some people in here already, so I appreciate y'all, man. If you be so kind, smash that like button for me. You know what I mean? It really means a lot to me if you could just smash that like button for me, y'all. There we go. We got a like. We got a like already. So once again, I appreciate you. Because you know, I can go live all day, but if I ain't got nobody to talk to, it's almost like, what am I going live for? I want to say, man, I've received all your emails. I've read your comments. A lot of you know I have responded in real time and things of that nature. So, yeah, I appreciate all the support. I appreciate all the love that I've gotten from everybody. So I hope everyone's doing well. I hope that you know this live. I hope this live can be productive, and we can get some things established, man. So I think I gave it a little bit of, you know, enough time. So we're gonna just jump right into it, man. So um, not even to be funny, I haven't gone live since last year, and the year ended a little strange for me. Um, you know, death is the one thing that we all know we're gonna have to face one day. Um, but sometimes it just happens the way it does, and even though you might think or feel you're prepared for it, when it actually happens, you know, it puts you in a different state of mind. So I say that to say, I ended the year with a lot of loss in the family, and to be honest, I think that the biggest impact for me was um, trying to be that supportive piece, that anchor for those around me, because everyone has a different level of understanding and everyone deals with things differently. So for me, it was more important to be strong for those that needed uh, to be uh, comforted. Um, and so navigating through that to the end of the year was pretty challenging to look across and see the ones you love the most, you know, in so much grief and so much pain. So that's kind of like where I'm gonna, I guess, you know, pivot at, because my grandma passed at the end of the year, and my mom was hands on with my grandma for the last, I think, decade or so. And so that being her mom, it's already a connection. But when you're with someone hands on day in and day out, I got to see the impact, the effect that it had on my mom. And, you know, so my heart goes out to everyone and anyone out there that's ever had to deal with something like that, because unless you actually go through it or experience someone that you love dearly go through it, you really won't understand the type of impact and effect that it has on the individual. So I just want to share that with everybody, let you know, man, I feel for you, and you know, hopefully you have the right support system around you that can help you navigate through that. Um, but aside from that, I just had a lot of other things take place, a couple other different transitions, as I would say. So for those of you that knew about my business ventures, you knew I spent a lot of time on the road with a transportation company. That's now a thing of the past. I no longer do that. So I was able to take the end of the year as a opportunity to really hone in on the things that matter most. And although while generating a high salary, being away from home as much as I was just really wasn't conducive. The dollar signs are there. Don't get me wrong. You need money to live. Well, I won't say you need money to live, but you need money to get by. Right? You need money to take care of things, the essential needs that we have on a day-to-day basis. Your mortgage, your rent, your insurance, your food, your whatever, right? Your entertainment, your clothing. So it is a tool that we need, but I feel like we get caught up in this race of like, I gotta have more. I gotta have more. And at some point, another dollar is just another dollar. So if you don't know what you're doing it for, if you don't have a goal in mind, if you don't know what monetary value it is that you're pursuing, if you don't have a certain number you're trying to attain, I mean, money is just money. It's just, you can't take it with you, and it's just gonna pile up for you. So I'm not telling you don't go out there and get it, because I still am a huge advocate for being your own boss, being an entrepreneur, you know, being an individual that is willing to go out there and you know, push your way through into other rooms, work out of your comfort zone, because success is on the other side of fear. A lot of people don't find full and true success because of fear. And so fear is one thing that I've never had from when I was young all the way to the present day. If it was up to others and if it was based on fear, I would have never left New York City. I would have never started a business. I would have never done half of the things that I've done in my life. And so for the lack of fear, I've been able to attain many things, and I failed a lot along the way. But it's those failures that make the few successes feel so much greater, because that's the part they don't tell you about. You hear people talk about the journey, and they show you the end result, and that's the problem. Everyone's in love with the end result. Everyone's in love with the storyline of how many millions someone has, how many houses, how many trips. What people aren't in love with is the process. You hear people say, trust the process, but not everyone is willing to go through the process. If you don't go through the process, you will never know what's on the other side for you, because most people fall short for that reason. They don't see it through to the end. And when you don't see it through to the end, you're going to fall short each and every time. So, hey, Raja, man, salute to you, my friend. I appreciate you tapping in, man. 100 right back at you, man. But yeah, so when you don't necessarily have a goal in place, and you don't know what it is that you're working towards and why you're doing certain things, it's easy for you to be distracted. It's easy for you to be throwing off your game and things of that nature. And so I advocate. I'm a huge advocate for folks to go out there and just really press forward, man. Challenge yourselves, man. Get out of your comfort zone, and don't ever be afraid of you know, trying new things, man. Failure only applies to those who don't try. I'm gonna repeat that again. Failure only applies to those who don't try. That's my stance on it, and I know many folks may not agree with that statement. But you know, because you'll say, "Oh, well, this guy's failed a million times. He's tried a million businesses, and he's, you know what? But he's tried it. He's put his best foot forward. He allowed his actions to speak for him. He allowed his actions to, you know, lead him in a direction. And just because the end result may not have been what he wanted it to be or what you expected it to be, does not mean that that individual has failed. That individual succeeded to the point of going down this path, and even when you don't get it right at the end, you still learn from it, so that on your next venture, you know what to avoid and what not to do. That's the beauty of trying. That's the beauty of believing in yourself. That's the beauty in pressing forward. That's the beauty in getting out of your comfort zone. And so you're probably sitting there asking, so what does this have to do with the way the year ended, and why you haven't been live streaming as often? Well, it all does come back full circle, and it's because like I said, I lost my grandma my my uncle passed literally a month prior um, to my grandma. So it was like it was a hit back to back, and he was my son's godfather. And although he was not my biological uncle, he earned the title of being my uncle with action. Okay, this man, obviously, like I said, he was not biologically attached to me. So the things that he did do for me as a youth and as a young adult uh, far exceed the actions of others that you would think would be there for you. And I'm not speaking of monetary support. I'm speaking of taking a position in helping mold me into the man I am today. And I'm not saying that he was the only or the greatest influence, but I think we're back live now. Yeah, okay. So for those of you that don't know or that aren't familiar with my background, I am a high school dropout. And I don't, I say it proudly, not because I think it's something cool, but I say it proudly because although I chose that path in my life early on, I did not allow that one decision in my life to determine the rest of my life. It did not determine the outcome of my future. So as a high school dropout, I've still managed to be my own boss. I've managed to establish multiple successful businesses. I've established to raise a family. And I mean, so I beat the odds, as they would say. I'm the guy that tells everyone, hey, college isn't for everyone. And I mean that. Now, does that mean that you shouldn't go to college? I mean, if it's for you, if you're in a lane and a path that requires college, or that college will give you that upper hand in whatever field and industry you're going through. Let's say you want to be a lawyer or a doctor, then college is for you. But if you are not of that mindset, college is not for everyone. That's my stance on it. I'm not against those that go to college. I believe that college is great for many. It just wasn't for me. I mean, I barely got out of high school, and it wasn't because of lack of knowledge. Um, if you look at my grades academically leading up to a certain point, I was always excelling. But once I got to high school, the different liberties and freedoms that I was able to have while I was doing what I was doing, it allowed me to make more decisions, and I lack the discipline to make the right decisions. That's that's the main thing that I would point out with that. So growth comes at a price, but so does stagnation. Just sitting still and not elevating yourself and not putting your best foot forward, that comes at a price as well. So you have to decide what it is that you want to get out of life moving forward for yourself. And once you understand that, then I think decision making down the line becomes a lot easier. So to get back on track with what I was saying initially is having that ability, having that drive, that will to win, to succeed, to get to that next level, um, plays a major role. It really does. And so for that reason, I will say to individuals, you got to believe in yourself. Otherwise, no one else will believe in you. That that's the probably the probably one of the biggest things you can learn to establish. Make others believe in you the way you believe in yourself. And the best way to prove yourself to those that don't believe in you is to have those around them tell them how great you became. You don't have to prove anything to anyone as an individual at all. You just have to be you. You just have to do you. Stay in your lane. All right. Life is a marathon, It is not a race. So again, how does this all tie in? Well, as I mentioned, I lost my grandmother and I lost my uncle 2 months back to back. That's how we closed out the year. Um, why? Why did he play such a pivotal role in my life? I had my first son at the age of 19. I was 18, expecting my first son. He was born when I was 19. At this time, I was a high school dropout. I was running wild through the streets of New York, the Bronx to be specific, and I honestly didn't have a game plan. I knew how to make money one way only, and that's all I had to bring to the table. And at that time frame, an 18-year-old um, running through the city making money, I thought everything was everything. Fortunately for me, I had someone be able to intervene, give me a realistic outlook at what the future would look like, not just for me, but for my son. And he took a chance on me, gave me the opportunity to go out there and get my first, I can't say my first legit job. My first legit job, I was about 14, 15. It was summer youth. That was like the first time I actually went and got like a legit job. But as an adult, he gave me the opportunity to go out there. And he took a chance on me because I could have easily went in there, did the wrong thing, made him look terrible. But he took a chance on me, and he had one stipulation, which was I had to cut my hair. Back then, I had long braids, and he told me, hey, if you're gonna come into corporate America, as they call it, you gotta also look the part. Initially, I didn't understand, like, what does my hair have to do with me doing the job? Long story short, like I said before, high school dropout, I didn't have the tools in the tool bag needed to be able to navigate through that. So he took a chance on me, and just to ensure that I took advantage of that opportunity, he reached in his pocket, he gave me money out of his own pocket, and he told me, if you really want this, you'll show up at this address tomorrow, 1 p.m., and you have a haircut. And he gave me more than what the haircut would even cost. But essentially the message was, you could take this money and not cut your hair and not show up, or you could do the right thing, show up and take advantage of this opportunity. And so I went home and I thought about my upbringing and all the above. And so as things started to develop and I started to properly digest the information that was being provided to me, I had to make a decision. And I didn't want that same upbringing for my kid. So I made the choice. I cut the hair. I showed up on time. In fact, I was early. I was nervous. I didn't know what to expect. I came from an environment where I was able to use my aggression and my physical ability to navigate through any environment. But this was different. They spoke, although it was English, they still spoke a different language. I had to monitor my mannerisms and my behavior a little different when I walked into certain rooms. But that's okay, because I knew that that's what I needed in order to be able to establish the foundation, not just for self, but for my son, and eventually became my family. And so, again, in having him pass, the biggest takeaway, the biggest impact, and not to sound selfish, because I saw the damage it did to my aunt. I saw the way my younger cousin was impacted by the loss of his dad. His dad was practically his best friend. So I seen how that impacted him. But what I took from that was that this man dedicated his life to working his tail off, taking care of his family, make sure they never needed anything. And his one goal was to retire, have a nice set of golf clubs, and a red convertible. And he passed away before he was able to attain that. Not because he couldn't afford it, because he was a good earner. He provided a great lifestyle for the family, but because he gave too much to the work life. He didn't have that balance. There were other factors, but essentially a lot of the things that he wanted to put off to retirement, he could have been enjoying in real time. But he was so hyper focused on earning and securing his future for retirement and so on and so on that he wasn't able to really enjoy the two simple things that he wanted to enjoy out of life. And that just kind of like woke me up, as I would say. It kind of like it sparked something. It made me realize that there's a lot more to this than we believe there is. And if we don't take advantage of the time that we're given in real time, it's gonna pass us by. That money that he earned, that money that he saved, you know, that beautiful house that he owned, the large property, means nothing. He's not here with us today anymore. My younger cousin is doing great. He's excelling. He's in college. He's gonna go on to be a great young man in the future, but he won't be here to witness it. And although I know that my younger cousin will continue to thrive and move forward, I also know that he would have loved nothing more than to be able to enjoy those successes with his dad. So again, this is why the big gap from the end of the year to the present time. I mean, lost uncle, lost grandma, lost grandpa, right? So it's a lot of loss, and having to balance out all these emotions, a timeline, like I said, for me, it was impactful, but at the same token, it was more impactful to see my mom go through it. I mean, these were her direct creators, right? This is the people she came from. And it was just like back-to-back events. And that just made me appreciate things from a different perspective. It made me understand that I needed to be more grateful for the opportunities that I do have in life. And that's kind of a big part of the hiatus from not being on live stream. Just getting my ducks in a row, making sure that when I do come back, that I could be consistent, but that it's also organized. So before it was like, yeah, I'll be on tonight. Yeah, oh, you know what? Sure, I'll jump on again. I'd say, all right, I'm getting off at 9, y'all, and it'd be 3 in the morning, and I'd still be on live. So moving forward, that's not something that I'll be doing. Not because I don't enjoy chatting with you guys, but because I need to do a better job at balancing out my time, my scheduling, and making sure that I'm more available and more present with my loved ones, and that I can take care of more tasks in real time and maximize the opportunity that I have on a day-to-day basis. And my message to you all would be the same. I would encourage you all to do the same. I would encourage you to go out there, put your best foot forward, and make sure that everyone around you gets that equal time frame with you, that you engage with people in real time, and that you express how you feel about them in real time, so they know exactly what they get from you, and they know exactly where they stand with you. A lot of the times, people like to believe that people just know how we feel about them. People are not mind readers, y'all. So don't expect people to just know what you're thinking and what you're feeling. I want to pivot off of that. I feel like that's a good sum for why I've been so absent. Like I said, I made a big pivot. Some events took place, which essentially guided me off the road and brought me home. And like anything else, with any change, it's always going to be challenge. But I'm built for this. I've been dealing with challenge since I was born, so I'm built for the challenge. Like I'm good with all that. Shout out to everybody that's in the chat, by the way. I'm not ignoring y'all. I just wanted to make sure I got this off in real time so people could know, kind of where I'm coming from and what it is that I'm speaking on and all of the above, man. So, but hey, Ben, I see you in the chat, Ben. I appreciate you, brother. It's been a little minute since we chopped it up, but like I said, I just was navigating through some things, and I definitely do appreciate the love and you checking in, man. Hope everything is good with you and your family. Hope you guys are enjoying the weather. Hopefully your weather is lovely like my weather is. Not everyone is blessed and fortunate to have the sunny skies of Florida. So I'm not rubbing it in. I lied. I am. Yeah, I appreciate that, brother. Yeah, man, life is precious, man, and unfortunately, you know, we get caught up in the day-to-day kind of run around, and we don't really understand like the blessing, the true blessings that we have, the true luxuries we have in life, like our health, like genuine loved ones around us, like people that actually enjoy seeing you and conversating with you, and a lot of times it gets taken for granted, and it kind of hits home when that person is no longer there. It's like an employee that goes above and beyond and isn't appreciated, and then eventually that employee goes, all right, I can't take this no more, I'm gone. And then they go to another company, and initially like, yeah, whatever, hire someone else, and then you get someone that comes in and just does what they're supposed to do, and then that company starts to feel the ripple effect, not just the supervisor, but the co-workers and so on and so on. And so depending on who that person is in your life, that will kind of magnify the kind of impact that it'll have on you and those around you. So like I said, for me, it was more about just keeping those around me uplifted and keeping them strong throughout these trying times, because a loss is a loss, and unfortunately, a lot of people don't understand. Once you lose someone, you know you don't get them back. The memories live with you, but physically you don't get them back, and so that's why it's important to live in the moment, create memories, because that's the one thing that we do get to keep and hold on to. So yeah, man. So now on to what I got going on now. I'm gonna consistently be doing the podcast, so I'm for sure committing to doing Sundays, just to kind of get back into a rhythm. Sundays, 12 to 1 p.m. Eastern time. Today I got on a little later, so I'm gonna go a little later. I'm gonna stay on until about probably 1:45 or so. But moving forward, it will be 12 to 1. I had a couple things that I had to work on. As you see, I'm not even using the mic today because I got a bunch of like loose wires and stuff that I failed to connect and stuff. So it is what it is. By the time next week comes around, I'll make sure I have everything set up, and it'll be a well-oiled machine, as they say, moving forward. But yeah, so in regards to what I got going on now, podcasting is going to be one of my main focuses. Sundays for sure, 12 to 1. I'm going to most likely squeeze in a Wednesday as well, and Wednesdays will be geared 100% towards business-minded individuals, start breaking down different business plans. And I don't know if you realize I rebranded the company, so Figs Pro Tips is still going to be the name of the podcast, but Figs Worldwide Group is what my company is going by now, simply because I'm going to bring all of my other businesses underneath that one umbrella. Hey, what's up, Jackson? Welcome to the live, man. Appreciate you checking in, man. It's been a while, man. Hope everything is going good with you. Hope everyone in your family is doing well. Hope everybody's healthy, man. Good to see you in the live again, man. So yeah, so the whole purpose of the Figs Worldwide Group is just to bring everything under one umbrella. I'm going to now midway through the month, the website should be available to everyone, locally and nationally, for those that want to acquire certain services. I've partnered up with a few other folks, and mainly in the East Coast. I got some in the Midwest, and I got one in California. So we'll see what this growth is like. Definitely going to be expanding more. I got a few speaking engagements, so all that stuff will be available on the website, and different ways to contact me, whether it be email. There will be a phone number up there, and different ways to schedule appointments, so we can do like private, person-to-person virtual meetings and things of that nature. So I'll have all that stuff available on the website. Most of those services will be free. My course is finally completed. The dispatching 101, above above excellence should be the standard. So that's what we're pushing for. Try to help people to find ways to, become great earners and buy back your time, man. Because that's the one asset that we all have that, as you lose it, you don't get it back. So try to free up your time now so you can enjoy and maximize the time and the opportunities that God blesses us with. Every time you wake up and you open your eyes, God blessed you again. Can't overlook that. But that's pretty much what I got for right now. Cleaning service is taking off. It's looking good. Local transportation. It's a bit more of a challenge than it is over the road because I live in Florida. Florida's I'm gonna say the toughest market because it's the lowest paying market. So unless you get in with like specific customers, and it becomes a bit more challenging to kind of generate that revenue. But I'm optimistic. I'm a go-getter, and I don't lay down for nobody. So we're gonna keep pressing forward, and the goal is gonna be to just continue to generate that revenue and grow and expand, and hopefully, we can develop this well-oiled machine, like I like to say, and put ourselves in a position to expand. And the ultimate goal would be where I could do this full time. But right now, I'm still balancing. I'm still juggling between a couple of things. So until I'm not able to do it full time, I'll be good with what I can do, which is just for sure Sundays 12 to 1 p.m. I'm gonna squeeze in a Wednesday. Wednesdays is probably gonna be in the mornings because it's gonna be business driven, and it may or may not be an hour long. It might be longer. It might be less. And that's what I'm working with right now for sure. You can count on Sundays, 12 to 1 p.m. Eastern time. So if you're in the West Coast, for you, it'll be 9 a.m. 9 a.m. start time. Mountain time would be 10 a.m. and Central time would be 11 a.m. And then internationally, I don't know. We got to figure out those times for you guys. In fact, that's what I'll do. I'm gonna look at the top 10 locations where I get most of my views from, and I'm gonna put the actual times for you guys, so that wherever you stream from, internationally, you can always catch me in real time and ask your questions in real time. I have a new format I'm gonna do, which is gonna just pretty much introduce the pod, what I'm gonna be touching base on, what I'll be discussing, and after I introduce that, I'm gonna pivot away from it and dive into my topics, and then in the middle I'll take some questions, and then I'll wrap it up with whatever closing article, statement, whatever it is that I'll be sharing with you guys, man. Shout out to everybody that smashed that like button, man. I appreciate y'all. Shout out to everybody that left a comment. I'm gonna continue to build up, and I got some giveaways, by the way, too. I'm gonna have some giveaways for y'all. We got some T-shirts. I believe I got some hats, but I got a couple other things, some posters and things of that nature. I'm just gonna do some giveaways. For those of you that have been riding with me from the beginning, for those of you that come back even after a hiatus, I appreciate you all. Y'all are the real MVPs. Y'all are the reason that I do come back, and you guys keep me inspired and motivated to, kind of continue to push. Because sometimes, I'm not gonna lie, some days I'm like, you know what makes it difficult for me is that I don't run with the hot topic. Everybody right now is like, you could scroll. Everyone's feed has U.S., Israel attacks, Iran. Like, this is all right. Like, everyone's doing that. I'm not a news anchor or a news reporter. Have I done segments? Do I have pods on my or videos on my channel speaking about certain topics? Yeah, but I do that separately. I'm not gonna jump on live, for all this clickbait, breaking news. I don't do that. I have a organic audience, and I'm grateful for my audience because it's been a slow grind, but we've been building up organically, and I feel like we've built the connection. I feel like we have a solid community, and now once I start going live again and people start seeing that notification again, I'm confident that we'll start filling up the room again. And so, it's just a matter of time before we start to, hit these certain numbers again like we were doing before, man. I understand it's a slow grind, it's a slow process, and by me taking that time off, I know it's going to always impact the numbers, and that's okay because, like I tell y'all, I don't care if it's one person or a million people. I'm going to jump on. I'm going to say what I got to say. I'm going to share my info. I'm going to give you guys facts over feelings always. And I feel like that's the one thing that brings people back. You guys know I'm always going to be honest. I tend to say the quiet thing out loud. And it's never my intention to offend anyone. But it does happen from time to time because, a lot of people are sensitive to certain things. And folks tend to lack the ability to communicate and share their point of views without feeling any type of way. So I don't ever take it personal. I welcome the trolls to leave the crazy comments and all that other stuff. I mean, at the end of the day, that just helps the channel grow. It helps the algorithm pick it up. It sees the activity and they go, hey, what's going on over there? And they send more people this way. So I always welcome that behavior. For those of you that feel like there's anyone that can benefit from the content I put out, I encourage you to not only like, but to share the content with family and friends. If you haven't subscribed, hit the subscribe button. It ain't gonna hurt you none. It ain't gonna cost you nothing. It's totally free. And then for those of you that like the content I've put out, encouraging folks to invest and how to plan for the future while living in the present. In the description of the bio of this video, there's going to be a link to Robinhood. You can click on that link, go through the steps, and you will get a free stock between $5 and up to $200, just depending on, your first investment. I tell people, just if you're new to it, get your feet wet, just put $1 and let, Robinhood give you whatever whatever they're going to give you for that initial investment. If you're already part of the investment game and you just want to take it up a notch, hey, throw a couple more dollars into it and maximize that free gift you're going to get from Robinhood. I tell people, if you leave free money on the table, you got a problem. I don't care if it's $1. I don't care if it's $5. You know what I'm saying? 10, 20. Listen, it's free money. It's for me. I'm going to go. I'm going to get it. I'm going to make it happen one way or another. There's no need to leave anything on the table. It's like when you was little, when you ate, and your parents said, you better not leave nothing on your plate. That's right. Don't leave nothing on the table. If you leave free money on the table, you're not operating right. So, yeah. Like I said, if you want to get into investing, man, even if you don't sign up right away, but just at least click the link for the Robinhood, navigate. It's free to download the app. It isn't going to cost you anything, right? You don't have to, necessarily sign up right away. You can just navigate through the app, and when you feel ready and comfortable, then like I said, use the link and sign up, man. Don't leave the free money on the table. That's my only advice to people. Don't leave the free money on the table because it's free money. Why would you not want free money? It's like you get to invest with free money, and then once you see it grow a little bit and you get a little more excited, you throw a little more money and it grows and it grows and it grows. And I got a video coming out specifically about who should be investing, how, why, how much, how long, right? This idea that you're going to get rich overnight. Even playing the lottery, you don't get rich overnight. Okay, it takes years and years and years and years. Some people never hit, but the people that do hit, it takes them years and years and years of playing that same number over and over and over and over. Eventually, they get lucky and it hits. And even after it hits and they get all that money, doesn't mean that they're rich. Sure, they got a lot of money, but if you have a poor mentality, if you have a poor man's mindset, if you don't have a plan for how you're going to allocate that money, go look up the statistics. 2 to 3 years, the average lottery winner goes broke. That's sad. Look at these athletes. They get $100+ million contracts to play sports. 5 years removed from any league, any industry, they go broke. It's sad. Look at Floyd Mayweather. All right, no shot. This is not a shot at him, but he's a perfect example. Look at Floyd Mayweather. People praise him for being a billionaire boxer and all this other good stuff. The man announced that not only is he going to fight Mike Tyson in the exhibition, but after that he's coming out of retirement. You think he's doing that because he loved the sport of boxing so much? Nah. This is the same guy that said he's going to retire from boxing. He's not going to let boxing retire him. Now, I don't take away from Floyd. But I will say this. Whatever version of Floyd Mayweather we get in the future is not going to be nothing close to what we had in the past. And that's going to be the excuse. Well, Floyd was older. You know, he's been out of the ring for X amount of years. He came back from retirement. The reality is that you should not expect Floyd to go in there and fight any big names right away. That's not going to happen. It's just not realistic, okay? If that's your expectation of Floyd Mayweather, you're delusional. I'm just being realistic, y'all. But he's a prime example of not having a plan in place. He was the highest earner boxer, right? And now you're back. Like, he went from doing exhibitions around the world with like celebrities and whoever else he got in the ring with to like now he's full on coming out of retirement. At his age, it's not impossible, but at his age, for the world to believe he's going to come in and assert his dominance over peak performers, no. Can he beat a lot of the guys out today? Yeah, I'm pretty sure he probably can, you know. Father Time catches up to everybody. Bernard Hopkins, we call him the alien, and he was probably the closest thing we had to, you know, looking untouchable. And then Father Time caught up to him. Joe Smith Jr. retired him, put him through the ropes, took his belt away, you know, and that was it. You know, that was it for him. So hopefully Floyd gets enough money from fighting Mike Tyson. He doesn't have to come out of retirement because honestly, I don't want to see it. Me personally, I don't want to see it. I don't want to see Floyd go through it. It's not going to be nice. My opinion. I could be wrong. My opinion. It's not going to be nice, y'all. Any questions? Let's talk about it, man. I'm here for it, man. Let's talk about it, man. What you guys got on your mind, man? What's the hot topic? What's the hot take for you guys right now? Like, where's your mind at? What you thinking about? What gets you ticking? What gets you going? Where we at with it, man? Let's talk about it, y'all. Y'all know I'm open to all of the above, man. We could talk about whatever, man. I never shy away from the unpopular thing. So that's it. What's up, Raja? How you Iran attack? I don't understand. How you Iran attack? How you feel? How I feel about the Iran attack? Good question. Good question. You've been following the channel for a while, so you know I've openly spoken and taken a strong stance on certain things. In fact, you have supported some of my takes. You being someone that is from the Middle East originally, and you know, now a legal American citizen. My stance remains the same, man. You know, the idea that we're going to ignore this broad threat to the nation, to me, is absurd. Do I agree with every single tactic that's used? No, I don't. But do I believe in protecting the country and ensuring that nothing catastrophic comes this way? Absolutely. I'm an American. I live in America. I love America. And I have a son that's in the military. So as they say, I have skin in the game. You understand? So I'm not a hypocrite about it. I understand the grand scheme of things, okay? But this is one of those situations where if you don't deal with it now, you deal with it later. And if you guys know me, I'd rather deal with things now. It's just the reality of it. They've been playing hardball for a long time. No other president has been willing and able to actually push and put that much pressure. Um, I hope this is not a forever war like the last time we was in the Middle East. But I think the bigger picture is understanding the people of Iran want this. The people of Iran want to be liberated. You have Iranians, you know, irate about what's going on. They love the idea, the possibility of a regime change. You know, I've seen news clippings. I've seen people take to the streets. You know, they say 90 million people have been oppressed, you know, for decades. They want to be free. They want the ability and the opportunity to just live life accordingly. They no longer want to be oppressed, and it is such a rich country with oil and resources that, and I know that that's the main thing people go, oh yeah, it's for oil, it's for oil. Look, it's the same reason, quote unquote, we was in Venezuela. It was for oil, for oil, for oil. But like everyone seems to turn the blind eye to the facts. And y'all know me, I love to say facts over feelings. And the fact is that the Venezuelan cartels was pumping in drugs that were killing our kids and our loved ones on a daily basis. This fentanyl thing is truly possibly the most dangerous thing on earth right now. I mean, something that smells a grain of salt, you touch it and you're done. You're finito. There's no coming back. So it's the same thing with Iran. Like, why do you need this quote unquote long range ballistic missile? It ain't to reach nobody but the U.S. And it's not just about the range that it can cover. You also want to be able to have nuclear capabilities. So why else would you want it? It ain't for no one else but the U.S. You know, I have the segment, This is America. I've touched on a couple of these things. What I feel is an invasion that's been taking place, and people are just turning a blind eye to it. And we'll see with time if what I'm saying, if I'm right, if I'm wrong. But so far, I'm, I'm I haven't struck out, man. I haven't struck out so far. You know, I've been giving y'all a lot of base hits, and seems like the bases are loaded right now. And you know, whether people like it or not, whether they agree with it or not, you know, Trump swung for the fence. You know, he gave him a deadline. A lot of people said, "Oh, Trump's just talking." He's just talking, and guess what? He got tired of talking. I guess he got tired of people saying he was just talking, and he swung for the fence. So that's my take on it. My heart goes out to all the innocent casualties. Right? There's going to be casualties on both ends. American, actually on three fronts, right? Because you have America and Israel, and then you have Iran. And I've seen some things like the American bases were attacked in Qatar and another area. So it's, when you really think about it, it's a lot of innocent people that are going to get caught up in this, and it's unfortunate. So my heart does go out to everyone that's impacted by this in a negative way. War is never a good thing. Okay, even the people that survive it physically get destroyed mentally and emotionally. I read a book once and it said, any man that experiences war, uh, any man that experiences war never comes back the same. The better part of the man dies with the war, or stays in the war, something like that. So, you know, it's not a good thing for anyone, but unfortunately, certain things you can't walk away from. You know, it's kind of like the bully effect, right? As long as you keep running around the bully is going to continue to bully you. At some point, you got to stand up for yourself. And if you don't, somebody will. When that person stands up, you have a conflict. But after that conflict is resolved, that bully no longer bullies you. And so I think that that's kind of like, I think that's kind of what's taking place right now. I think that the U.S. said enough. You know, I mean, there's a lot of open threats. I don't know where you guys live. I don't know what you guys watch, what you guys are into, but there's definitely a large group of individuals out here that love to take to the streets and love to chant "Death to America," and that really troubles me because if that's how you feel about this country, that's fine. But then why are you here? You know, but that's another topic for another day. I don't feel like diving into this whole political realm right now. Um, Simply just answering the question that was put out by uh, by Raja. So hopefully I answered your question. I didn't take you on too many detours, but yeah, that's my stance, man, and it's not gonna change. I am forever going to be pro America. Nothing that goes on, nothing that anyone says, or however they may or may not feel, is going to deter how I feel about it. Like I said, I am America first. I am pro America. I also am for the safety and the freedoms of others. And while we're on this subject, I would also like to say that throughout this conflict, uh, may God not only bless, but that He may protect the men and women serving in our military, domestic and abroad, because war is very unpredictable. And as the president said himself, when you go to war and it's such a large scale, there's always going to be casualties. So my heart goes out to those that are impacted um, uh, on both sides, but certainly for the home front, because the brave men and women go out there, put their life on the line because of lawmakers back home making whatever decisions they want to make, or even with the president just saying, hey, we're going to go ahead and do this. So I pray that God bless you all, keep you safe, and He bring you back to your families. I pray that this is not a forever war, that this is over and done with quickly, that they can find a resolution, and that the people of Iran can be free, so that the American troops can return home and be safe and away from home as well. The war on terror is going to be a constant. It isn't going anywhere because it's bigger than any one country or any one region. Um, but neutralizing Iran, just neutralizing a certain region, or freeing a certain amount of people, certainly will do the world a lot of good. So yeah, that's what I got for y'all, Raja. I see you put 100, man. So salute to you. I feel like maybe my message resonates with you, or you agree with what I got to say, brother. So I do appreciate you, man. And unfortunately, because of the actions of I can't say a few rogue, because there's millions of people that have actually taken that approach, but because of the actions of others, unfortunately, it seems like everyone from that region or a certain region kind of gets labeled the same way, and it's not fair, and you know it's become an attack on. And I will say that you can add me to that community. You can say I'm part of those. Um, yeah, you can say that I'm part of the ones that kind of feel a type of way. But there's been there's just been a lot of extra energy aimed in the direction of the Muslim community. And I will say this, because I'm no idiot, I'm no fool. I am fully aware and fully understand that um, not every Muslim is a terrorist, and not every Muslim shares the same views, right? There's some folks that come from the region that don't even identify as Muslim, but because you come from a certain region, you're automatically categorized. It's like if I instantly tell you that, hey, I don't eat meat anymore, you say, are you a vegan? Are you a vegetarian? And it's like, no, I just don't eat meat. I don't feel like eating meat right now. And oh, I don't like dairy. Are you lactose? No, I just don't like dairy. Like I understand, and I can only imagine how frustrating it is. But at the same token, what I ask those of you with the ability to think for yourself and outside the box is to try to put yourself in the position that we're in, where you have large amount of individuals shouting death to America while living in America, while taking advantage of America, and not hiding it. So, yeah, Raja, great question. You took me down a path I wasn't trying to dive into today, but it's all good. Like I said, man, I'm always open to answer any questions, and yeah, I'm here for it, man. I'm here for all of it. We got about 5 minutes left, so if anybody else got you gotta get a little laugh out of it, good. I'm glad you can get a laugh out of it. We got about 5 minutes left. I can take another question or two before we wrap this up. If not, you know, like always, thank you all for your time. I appreciate y'all, and we're gonna build this back up. We're gonna scale it back up to where it was at. We're gonna start with an hour on Sundays, and depending on, you know, how the conversations go, then we might hit that 90-minute mark, or we might hit that 2-hour mark. So we'll adjust in real time as things develop. But for right now, it's certainly going to be 12 p.m. to 1 p.m. Again today, a little longer because I didn't get on exactly at 12. I had some technical difficulties setting things up, so I'll make sure to be better prepared moving forward, and the sound quality will be better. I see I got some interaction with you guys, so I'm sure you guys can hear me, but I'm speaking directly to my recorder versus actually using this beautiful gold mic that I have. I have some wireless Bluetooth mics as well. For whatever reason, I can't get anything to work with me today, so I'm not gonna lie, I was almost discouraged and I almost didn't do it. And I said, nah, I told my peeps that I was gonna jump on, so I jumped on and kept my word, because that's one of the things in life, man, keeping your word. Learning to keep your word, man, you know, keep your word. You tell somebody you're gonna do something, man, you do it. You tell somebody you're gonna be there, you be there. And make that a new habit if you don't already have that, you know, kind of in place, if you don't already practice that, because it says a lot about a person that keeps their word, man. So I see still got a few people in the live, but there's not much activity, there's not much of a chat going on. So I'm gonna say thank you to everybody. I'm gonna say salute to y'all, salute to the men and women out there, you know, fighting, you know, fighting the foreign enemy, so that we can live in peace and harmony here in the States. And let's appreciate our servicemen and women a lot more, and let's be grateful for the freedoms and liberties that we do have, man. So with that being said, I appreciate y'all. I'll catch you on the next one. Peace, love, and blessings. And I'm out of here. Let's turn this thing off.